This is for my nephew, Michael.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the most notable awards show recipients and presenters who used their time on stage to bring relevant and vital socio-political problems to attention.
I just want to say I'm so proud to be a part of a movie that addresses mental health issues. They're so important.
Number 10. Taylor Swift empowers young women. While the 2009 VMAs saw Taylor Swift's acceptance speech infamously cut short by Kanye West, the singer-songwriter got some much-deserved time to shine at the 2016 Grammys.
I want to thank the fans for the last 10 years and the Recording Academy for giving us this unbelievable honor.
Winning Album of the Year for the modern masterpiece that is 1989. Swift became the first leading female artist to achieve this honor twice. She not only owns her accomplishment in her subsequent speech, but uses the moment to inspire other young women to do the same for themselves.
I want to say to all the young women out there, there are going to be people along the way who will try to undercut your success or take credit for your accomplishments or your fame.
Swift doesn't beat around the bush, and her words are all the better for it. Even as it precedes the #MeToo movement and her decision to re-record her first 6 albums, it's still a defiant and, shall we say, fearless move on Swift's part.
Someday when you get where you're going, you'll look around and you will know that it was you and the people who love you who put you there. And that will be the greatest feeling in the world.
Number 9. Spotlight wins Best Picture. Despite the competition from the big-budget spectacles like The Revenant and Mad Max Fury Road, the journalism drama Spotlight took home the 88th Academy Award for Best Picture.
You want to sue the church?
Technically, we wouldn't sue the church. We'd file a motion to lift the seal on those documents.
The church will read that as us suing them. So will everybody else.
Good to know.
It was an underdog victory, not unlike the real-life investigation it covered, and the producer's speech exemplifies the triumphs of both. Much like the film itself, they praise the strength of those whose voices were heard once the cover-up of sex crimes within the Roman Catholic Church was exposed. With the cast and some of the actual journalists on stage with them, their words resonated throughout the audience and beyond. In an era where keeping power in check becomes increasingly important, theirs forever remains a timely message.
There's a story here, and I think it's an important story.
I already talked to the Phoenix.
Yeah, and there's a reason I didn't see it. Nobody reads the Phoenix anymore. They're broke. They don't have any power. The Globe does. If we cover this story, everybody will hear about it.
Number 8. Michael Keaton discusses the opioid epidemic. Spotlight's big win all but confirmed Michael Keaton's comeback, as the beloved actor earned a SAG award for his work alongside the distinguished cast. Keaton would win another award from the Screen Actors Guild years later for his performance in the miniseries Dopesick, which tackled the equally gripping opioid epidemic.
How fortunate am I that good can come from something that I do just because I wanted to become an actor.
Playing a physician who becomes ensnared in the crisis, his speech gets right to the heart of America's struggle with opioids. While Keaton affirms his pride in the work he's done to inspire change, things get personal when he reveals how the epidemic has affected his family.
This is for my nephew, Michael, and my sister, Pam. I lost my nephew Michael to drugs, and it hurts. This is for my sister Pam. Thanks.
It's a touching and cathartic moment, and it goes to show that you don't need a cape and cowl to provide hope. Number 7. Leonardo DiCaprio promotes climate change awareness. As one of Hollywood's most bankable actors, it's easy to forget that Leonardo DiCaprio is also a dedicated environmentalist.
Both of your speeches were just outstanding.
Thank you.
Climate change, and to see the passion, and this is nothing, you're not jumping on any bandwagon. You have been very consistent talking with Vice President Biden and others.
In fact, he was combating the elements on and off screen during production on The Revenant, which scored him his long-awaited first Oscar. We clamored for years to see Leo get his moment on stage, and he didn't waste a single second.
As I said in the speech, it is the most urgent crisis that we've ever faced as a civilization.
After handing out the traditional thank yous, DiCaprio touches upon how the difficulties making the film inspired his climate change activism even more. It makes for an impassioned plea for change as he speaks on behalf of the underprivileged and indigenous people of the world.
We can actually tackle this problem. We have the capacity to go 100% renewable using existing technologies. We just have to have the political will.
And we have to find that, and you're right.
We must.
We must.
Our very existence is at stake.
The Revenant may have lost the big prize, but this speech was well worth the wait. Number 6. Bruce Springsteen and the HIV AIDS crisis. Having won the Best Original Song Oscar for Streets of Philadelphia, Bruce Springsteen became a voice for the very real crisis the song was brave enough to address.
Gonna leave me wasting away on the streets of Philadelphia.
Written for the film Philadelphia, the song captures the sense of alienation and abandonment that had befallen those affected by HIV and AIDS in the late 20th century. It was that unwavering empathy that eventually netted Springsteen the Song of the Year Grammy.
I'd like to thank all those disparaged and mysterious Grammy voters out there, wherever you are.
Ever the humble rock maestro, the boss dedicates the award to those who have shared with him their stories about living in the shadow of a life-altering diagnosis. Stigmas surrounding the disease have thankfully dissipated over the years, and the honest conversations inspired by speeches like Springsteen's may have something to do with that.
The folks who've come up to me in restaurants and on the street who've lost their sons or their lovers or their friends to AIDS and said that the song meant something to them. Thank you very much.
Number 5. Marlon Brando rejects the Oscar. One of the most infamous moments in Oscar history, Marlon Brando's Best Actor win for his legendary turn in The Godfather, might have been less controversial if he'd been present to accept it. But he wasn't. Instead, Native American activist Sacheen Littlefeather refused the award on his behalf.
Littlefeather spoke that night in place of actor Marlon Brando, who refused his Oscar for his part in The Godfather.
Littlefeather cited the poor treatment of Native Americans on the film and television as a primary cause, while also turning attention to the siege at Wounded Knee. The House was divided, as some clapped while others were vocally critical. Brando himself was criticized for not being there to take the heat, but the Academy's apology to Littlefeather before her 2022 passing ensured that both of their hearts were in the right place.
It wasn't until now that she's getting an apology and a night honoring her at the Academy Museum.
It's never too late for forgiveness.
Number 4. Logic on equality and combating prejudice. The 2018 Grammys saw a number of presenters give empowering speeches, including Janelle Monáe and Camila Cabello.
Standing in front of you on the Grammy stage in New York City. Thank you. And all I know is just like dreams, these kids can't be forgotten and are worth fighting for.
But it was Song of the Year nominee Logic, who made arguably the biggest impression of the night. Following the In Memoriam tribute, Logic took the stage to perform his nominated track, 1-800-273-8255, emphasizing its message of seeking help and remembering you're not alone.
I finally want to be alive. I finally want to be alive.
The rapper then concluded his performance with an evocative declaration of support for various causes, including gender and racial equality. His message reaches those who need it the most, reminding us that life is too short to be wasted on prejudice.
Black is beautiful, hate is ugly. Women are as precious as they are stronger than any man I have ever met. And unto them I say, stand tall and crush all predators under the weight of your heart that is full of the love they will never take away from you. Be not scared to use your voice.
For as fraught as these issues still are, sometimes it only takes one person to inspire kindness and unity. Number 3. Vanessa Redgrave's stance against anti-Semitism. A lot can go wrong when words are misinterpreted. That was what happened to screen legend Vanessa Redgrave while accepting the Best Supporting Actress Oscar for Julia. Playing an anti-Nazi activist in the film, Redgrave's denouncement of anti-Semitism persisted off-screen as she audaciously rebuked the Jewish Defense League in her speech. The JDL had previously threatened her due to her involvement with the documentary The Palestinian.
At this Los Angeles movie theater in 1978, a bombing and protest. The furor sparked by a documentary called The Palestinian, The film produced and bankrolled by Vanessa Redgrave.
Members of the radical organization even stood outside the ceremony to protest Redgrave's nomination by burning an effigy in her likeness. Things weren't much better inside, as the actress's choice of words infuriated several audience members. Nevertheless, Redgrave has maintained to this day that her stance against anti-Semitism was never meant to insult Israeli supporters.
I said that, and I pledged myself to fight anti-Semitism and fascism for the rest of my life.
Well?
And I think I have.
Number 2. Tom Cruise addresses the September 11th attacks. Nowadays, it seems as though few appreciate the joy of filmmaking the way Tom Cruise does, so it's fitting that he, of all people, would be able to eloquently reckon with his chosen medium's purpose, even in the midst of humanity's darkest hour. On a night devoted to celebrating movie memories, Cruz opened the 74th Academy Awards with some of his own. His speech is all in good fun until he reflects on the September 11th attacks, which had occurred several months prior to the ceremony. Cruz's words are somber to say the least, as the fallout of the tragedy can still be felt to this day. But they're also a stirring reminder that movies can carry an even greater significance in times of turmoil. Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honourable mentions. Lady Gaga champions mental well-being. This speech is far from shallow.
And we got to take care of each other. So if you see somebody that's hurting, don't look away. And if you're hurting, even though it might be hard, try to find that bravery within yourself to dive deep and go tell somebody.
Brian Cox condemns the invasion of Ukraine. On or off screen, there's no silencing this man.
And I think we should all stand together, and also for those people, the people in Russia who don't like what's going on, and particularly the artists. And I think we should really join in celebrating them and hoping that they can actually make a shift, as I believe they can.
Sally Field condemns the Iraq War. We would never censor a speech like this.
And to war, I am proud to be one of those women, and let's face it.
Sean Penn's call for LGBTQIA+ rights. The spirit of Harvey Milk endures with this speech. Joey Soloway on transgender civil rights. Nothing transparent about this speech, and that's the way we like it.
We don't have a trans tipping point yet. We have a trans civil rights problem. So go to transequality.org and vote to pass the Trans Equality Bill. Thank you.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Halle Berry's historical Best Actress win. While everyone else shared their memories, Halle Berry made history. The 74th Academy Awards was already a celebratory night for African-American actors, as Denzel Washington and the great Sidney Poitier also received awards themselves. But when Halle Berry was announced as Best Actress for Monsters Ball, she became the first black woman to receive the award. The singularity of her achievement makes her speech all the more eye-opening over 20 years later. Fighting through tears, she uses her time to shine a light on the other actresses of color who laid the foundation for her success. She's humble and commanding, all in the same breath, and her speech makes for an undeniably moving tribute to the power of representation.
It's not really about me as much as it's about so many other women of color who have tried to permeate, this system for so many years. And today, this meant, hope. That glass ceiling was broken wide open, and that just feels good.
What's the most inspiring call to action you've seen from an awards stage? Let us know in the comments down below.
And it is not lost on me that at this moment, there are some little girls watching as I become the first black woman to be given the same award.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.